Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Jay Cartere, and in this video I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on the Hitman beta and kind of giving it a short review kind of thing. So yeah, I just played it, I just finished it, and I enjoyed it. So those are my first impressions. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I had fun. I think it was better than Hitman Absolution. I think that was the last one. It does go back to the Hitman Blood Money days. It does feel very similar to that, but also updated and a little more streamlined. First of all, let's get into the graphics. The graphics in the cutscenes look very terrible, to be honest. They look kind of like PS2 graphics or maybe early PS3 graphics. But this is a beta, so I'm just assuming that all the graphics aren't ready or something. There was a lot of frame rate drops in the cutscenes, which looked absolutely terrible. It looked like it was going in slow motion or something, and the lip syncing was off. But yeah, this is a beta, so I'm not really gonna treat that as representation of the full game. But when it got into the gameplay now, the gameplay graphics were much better. It was probably on par with Absolution. It doesn't really look super next gen. There is like loads of crowds and everything like in the old previous Hitman games, but I don't know. It's not like high range graphics, but it's serviceable. So it was great. Like I enjoyed it. I had fun playing it. I didn't look at it like it was an eyesore, but the cutscenes definitely were eyesore. There is a bunch of loading, but generally when you load a save or something like that, it's quite straightforward and it doesn't take an exorbitant amount of time. I think that's the word, or exorbitant. I think it's exorbitant. It doesn't take an exorbitant amount of time, so it's quite cool. But loading into each mission was quite long, but it's understandable because it's like a big open world, which is like the next thing that we'll get into, which is the choices. There are loads of choices to be made while you're playing the game. You can choose different ways to assassinate your target. Just like in the old Hitman games, there's a variety of different ways you can kill your target. Like you can have an accidental death, or you can steal a certain disguise and like have a meeting with him. There was one scenario where you could steal a disguise of a guy that was having a meeting with the guy that you needed to kill, and then you could just like strangle him like old school Hitman. So yeah, the choices are cool. Also, you now have the ability to track and pick your own objectives instead of searching around forever. So like in the old Hitmans, when you wanted to pick a certain way to kill your target, you had to find all the pieces that would make that assassination attempt possible. So for example, in the mission that I'm probably showing to you guys now, you have to kill a certain guy who's a former chess championship pro or something, who turns out to be a Russian spy. You have to kill this guy, and the way I went about it was sabotaging an aeroplane that he was like testing out. So in order to do that, I had to find the disguise that I needed. I had to sabotage the airplane and then lead him to where he needed to go, and then run him through the test. So in the old Hitmans, I would have had to like find this all myself. I would have had to explore the level for ages, maybe like saved a lot and reloaded a few times. But in this case, as soon as I heard something about, like, I think I eavesdropped on a conversation, and they said something about this cockpit that I could sabotage, and as soon as that happens, you're able to track the objective. So that's what I've done, and then it showed me exactly where I needed to go to get the disguise, and then I've done that. Then it showed me that I had to go get the guy and come back around and sabotage and do all this sort of shit, and it just showed me how to do that. So you can pick any type of way you want to assassinate this guy, and I think you can track the objectives and it will show you exactly how to do it. And I really like that feature because it makes it a lot more streamlined for players like me who like objectives. Like you go in this thing, you pick what you want to do, and you go to get that like objective done, instead of just like replaying the level and saving and like having to test out a lot of things again and again. And in this specific level, I wasn't even able to save, so it was really great that I had that option to track my objectives. I don't know how that's going to play out in the full game, because it wasn't in the tutorial level, but it was in the final test level. So hopefully that comes in each episode. episode that comes out, but we'll discuss the episodic nature of this release a little bit later. Next thing I want to get onto is replayability. I'm not the type of person that really replays games. Like, I generally give it a once through. I'll play it once. In general, I don't even finish a lot of games, to be honest. So even like they don't even get the once through. So replaying it is definitely a myth because I don't really have the time. So the replayability isn't really something that really factors into my purchases. But if you are the type of person that likes to play a game and then find different ways to do like the same kind of thing again and again and again, then this has a lot of replayability. And so let's get into the updated disguise system. Now, the disguise system is a lot better than it was in Absolution. In Absolution, if you had a certain disguise, then everyone who was dressed in that same costume would know that you're a bad guy, basically. So if you was a cop, then every cop in the level would know that you're not really a cop, so you had to stay away from cops. Now, they only have like specific guys that can tell that you're not who you say you are, basically. So if you're a cop, or if you're in a cop disguise, then about like a few cops will know who you are, so you have to stay away from those cops, and you'll be able to see them with the instinct system, which is also back from Absolution. But now it doesn't run out. It doesn't seem like it doesn't run out at all. It's kind of unlimited, but you can't, like in Absolution, it would track where your enemies were and like it would show you their trail. In this, it doesn't really have that, but you can still see through walls and see where your target is. And I think you can still see objects of interest. So that's still there, but it seems to be unlimited. And it doesn't stop you from being discovered when you're using a disguise anymore. In Absolution, when you used instinct, you could walk past people who could see through your disguise while using your instinct and utilizing the instinct meter. But now, because it's unlimited, that would kind of be game breaking if you could just use your instinct and just walk past people who could see you. So now it seems like the people who can see through your disguise are more cherry picked and laid around the level, and you can kind of plan your route and not run into them or be like very careful around those guys. So that feature from Absolution is not really needed. So it's not something that I missed. And all in all, I'm really pleased with the updated system. And in this game, you really do feel like an assassin. Like you really do feel like Agent 47. When you pull off a hit and no one realizes that you were there, like it is really satisfying. So it's still as satisfying as the old games like Blood Money. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be, I don't know, like shit like Absolution. Well, Absolution wasn't shit. It had great moments, but the whole evading scenarios that you had to do in that was totally whack. So I don't see those coming back in this game. It seems like every episode is going to be a hit, basically. And that's what I want to talk about next, the episodic content, because that's how they're going to release the game. So, they're going to release it like an episode at a time, I think. Throughout 2016. So I'm not happy about that, but it does seem like the overall price is still the same kind of price as a normal game, because when I looked on the PSN store, it was £44 to get the full version of the game, and generally new games that come out are like £59 on the PSN store because it's like extortion over there. But £44 on Amazon or something is like generally the normal price. So I'm unsure of how many episodes there are yet. If they had communicated that in a better way, then I'd be more, I don't know, I'd be more certain on whether I'd purchase it or not. Like right about now, I'm very unsure, but I'm very much leaning to I'm not gonna purchase it until the whole game's out and they've released it. They've released all the episodes. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I am on that. If I was to rate this beta, I'd give it an 8 because I enjoyed myself. It was very fun. I didn't find anything wrong with it gameplay wise. There weren't really many bugs. Like some people did disappear, but they weren't like objective based characters, like people that I needed. Like there was like random crowd people disappearing, so I didn't really care about that. Everything seemed fine. I like the way the story's going. It was basically a prologue to the Agent 47 that we know and love. But it seems like they are rebooting the series, but it doesn't seem like they're going down like a terrible path to like the movies or something. So yeah, if you want to get this beta for free, I do have a video on that. That will be linked on the screen now. If you guys want to listen to my new EP or download that there'll be a link to that in the description. Please go and check that out. And I've got a new music video out that there's also a link to in the description, and maybe there's a link on the screen. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. But yeah, if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long. So all this warmth I share with you.